Yeah. Snax on Sportz, man. Back with another one on that punk ass, you know what I'm talking about? Alright, what's good with y'all, man? Snax on Sportz. Back with another one. Man, I tried to run this live. I tried to run this live like 30 minutes ago, but I had too much shit going on at the same time. You feel me? So I just had to start the live over because it 15 minutes had went by and I hadn't really talked about shit because there was a few things going on. I had to move my car and all this other shit. So I started to talk about it and then got interrupted. So yeah, but we back, Snax on Sportz. And you feel me? We're gonna talk about this James Wiseman, man. This been a topic I've been wanting to talk about. Actually, I've been wanting to do this James Wiseman episode since probably since like the beginning of this past basketball season. You know what I'm saying? Just because like after his rookie year, and this past year was his second year. He didn't play at all in the regular season, so he missed the whole year, and he missed the playoffs. Could have came back in the playoffs. James Wiseman could have came back in the playoffs, but right when he was geared to make his return towards the end of the regular season, he had a minor setback, nothing major, but just a minor setback because they put him out there to play a few G League games. He did extremely well, but his surgically repaired knee ended up having a little bit of swelling. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't nothing, they said it wasn't nothing major, nothing that needed to where he would need to go back under the knife and get some more surgery done. It's not surgery related. They just kept him out as a precaution, like, if he's having a little swelling and we want to, shut him back down for a few more weeks, and after them few weeks go by, it's going to be the playoffs. So it's like, just shut him down for the year. We don't want to, put him out there in high leverage games, playoff atmosphere and all that. We don't. The Warriors could have brought James Wiseman back in the playoffs, but what sense did it make to do that? And let his first action of the year be high leverage playoff games. You know what I'm saying? So they made the smart move, and we didn't need him anyway. We ended up winning the championship, and then we seen him in summer league. You know what I'm saying? And he looked well. He looked good in summer league. So yeah, but with all of the talk after his rookie year, and then with a few of the injuries, he hadn't had like a long, extensive injury history. It's just that the one knee kind of just kept him out. It just kept him out for the whole year. So because remember, he was supposed to come back this year with Clay. Some even thought he was going to come back before Clay. You know what I mean? First he'll be back in December, then it was January, then it was February, then he'll be back right before the regular season, to start the playoffs. So he ended up not coming back at all. But with all of that going on, and I guess his rookie season, people, fans felt like, he I don't know, he didn't live up to, I don't know what the fuck they felt. But I'm here to talk about all of that right here in this episode and address everything in regards to James Wiseman. So I've been wanting to do this episode as soon as all of the negativity, once I started to, hear all the negativity and all the pessimism and all of the doubting and skepticism about James Wiseman and what he could potentially be, in this league, in regards to whether him just being immature as far as his play on the court or the injuries. So since all of that, I've been wanting to do this. So to all of the, Warriors fans and just basketball fans in general and media members who have this skepticism about James Wiseman and, like I said, what he's going to turn into and, the type of career he's going to have and all the doubts and all that stuff, I just want to say, just chill out, man. It's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. James Wiseman will be fine. Okay? He's going to be fine. You know what I'm saying? And which is the title of this episode. James Wiseman will be fine. So, and what I mean, so basically I've been wanting to do this episode for, almost a year now. You know what I mean? Because the NBA season will be back now in it's August now, so August, September, October, basically in 2 months. Basically in October, you know what I mean? The season will be here. So, and it was around this time, it was around that time last year that I wanted to, do this episode. And I kept pushing it back throughout the year because he wasn't playing. So it was like, but the time is finally here now to do this James Wiseman episode because of the fact that another thing I'll say is that this episode right here will probably be the last basketball topic, the last basketball episode that I'll do for maybe a month or two until the season comes back around, unless some type of NBA news pops up, something talk worthy. And as I'm saying that, I am thinking about something that I did here earlier that is talk worthy. And so I probably will address it. And that's the reports are out that KD in Brooklyn for the Brooklyn Nets has now, he still is requesting a trade, but he's leaving some wiggle room for their owner, Joe Tsai, that he may be able to stay, or he may think about staying if the owner gets rid of and fires the general manager, which is Sean Marks, and the head coach, which is Steve Nash. This KD shit just keep getting more wild. I mean, this shit, but like I said, I just found out about that earlier today. I'll address that maybe later on tonight in another episode or tomorrow or whatever. But regardless of whatever, my basketball topics are going to be coming to an end for, I'm not even going to say it's going to come to an end. Because with basketball, man, the off season is like these motherfuckers always give you something to talk about. So, but football season is here now. This is the week. This is the first week of preseason for everybody. We just had the Hall of Fame game on Thursday, but this week right here is the week. Is week one of preseason NFL football. So all my episodes are going to be more geared towards football going forward. Until the NBA season comes back, and even when the NBA season comes back, obviously I'm gonna be talking about all things happening in the NBA. But by the time the NBA season come back, NFL is gonna be in full swing. So I'm still gonna be majority of my. I'm not even gonna put a name on it or say what it is gonna be or what it ain't gonna be. But I'm getting ready to. I've been doing all basketball, all NBA episodes for the past couple months, and really no football stuff. So basically I'm saying that's getting ready to switch. Anyway, one of the things with this James Wiseman situation, I mean, it's so many ways that I can go with this, so many layers of this James Wiseman topic that I can talk about, so many ways I can take it. But one of the things that I've been wanting to talk about in regards to James Wiseman is the whole thing between James Wiseman and LaMelo Ball. And this is where I was at in the live about 30 minutes ago when I just shut it down and started a new live. So basically, you know, you got a lot of fans, and they're seeing what LaMelo Ball is doing and what he did his rookie year, and because they got drafted the same year, and Anthony Edwards got picked number 1, James Wiseman got picked number 2 by the Warriors, and LaMelo Ball got picked number 3 by the Charlotte Hornets, right? And the Warriors made the right pick, okay? They made a pick for need, okay? And so I had a conversation with with one of my good homies, man, a little while back. My homie Dino from Hypey from Hypey Culture, about this whole James Wiseman, LaMelo Ball situation. As far as the fans see what LaMelo Ball is doing and saying, man, they should have drafted, the Warriors, we should have drafted Melo. And this and that, look what he's doing, this and that. And my whole thing is like this, bro, like, y'all got to understand, if LaMelo Ball gets drafted by the Golden State Warriors, he's not going to burst onto the scene how he has burst onto the scene with the Charlotte Hornets. Just by simple fact that he plays the point guard position. And the Golden State Warriors, they have this one guy. His name is Steph Curry. Yeah. So LaMelo Ball basically came in starting. I think he came off the bench maybe a little bit in his rookie year, but since then he's been starting. He made his first All-Star team this past year, his second year in the league. So he's off to a good, he's off to a great start in his career. But what the fans fail to realize, whether they're basketball fans or Warriors fans, fail to realize is, like I said, had LaMelo Ball gotten drafted by the Golden State Warriors, he would be playing behind Steph Curry. So he would not have the same opportunities and the same, time on the court to be able to show. Now, would he have gotten on the court at some point? Yeah. He would have been able to, get on the court and show his potential and show what he was. But similarly to how slow the Warriors are bringing James Wiseman on, partly because of, they're being careful with the injuries and stuff. There's no reason to rush nothing. That's what they would have did with LaMelo Ball. You know what I'm saying? Because the Warriors are, even though the past 2 years before we just won a championship, even though they were quote unquote down years or whatever, we were still in championship. We were still a championship caliber team. It just got proven by the fact that we just won a championship. So we was just hurt, and we're still filling out our roster. You know what I mean? It after KD left, it's going to leave a little bit of dust and a little bit of dust to be settled there. You know what I mean? So it took a year or two to get our bearings back up under us and surround Steph, Clay, and Dre with the right necessary players that they need that actually fit what the Warriors are trying to do. But we was always a championship team. We just had a few down years because of injury and just trying to round out our roster and put the pieces where they're supposed to go after KD left. So I say that to say James Wiseman got drafted to a championship caliber team. You know what I'm saying? So LaMelo wouldn't have been, if he would have got drafted to the Warriors, he wouldn't have the ball in his hand as much. He wouldn't be playing as much. So it wouldn't have the same impact. Like I said, he wouldn't have burst on the scene with the Golden State Warriors like he did with the Charlotte Hornets. It just wouldn't have been able to happen just by sheer fact that he's playing behind Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing with that. And if you flip it, I always said, let James Wiseman had got picked number 1 and got drafted to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Okay. In his rookie year, I think he would have been 17, 18, and 10, 18 and 9, 18 and 10 as a rookie, 18 points, 9 or 10 rebounds, something like that. Because of the fact that he would have gotten drafted to a bad team that would have needed to just throw him out there. You know what I'm saying? The Warriors, we just was fortunate enough to the way the cookie crumbled for us is that we were just fortunate enough to have a number 2 pick because of the whole Andrew Wiggins trade thing. You know what I mean? With D'Angelo Russell and all that. Like we were able to get I think that may have been the Kuminga. No, we got Kuminga off that pick. But basically we were Wiseman happened because we were bad the previous year, that bubble year. We were 15 and 50 that year. And we were so bad we didn't even make it to the bubble. So we got Wiseman because for that year we were bad. Right after we lost in 2019 to the Raptors in the finals, that next year, which was the year that KD was his first year gone. Clay was hurt. It was the first year Clay was hurt, out for the season, and Steph was out basically for the year. He only played 5 games in the bubble year. So he got injured like the 3rd or 4th game of he broke his wrist, the 3rd or 4th game of the season that year, and he was out all the way up until like February or March. And right when he came back, like that next week is when the shutdown happened with the pandemic and all that. So, and that was James Wiseman's. No, I'm lying. It was not James Wiseman rookie year. James Wiseman rookie year was the next year, which was the reason why I'm getting confused is because I remember James Wiseman not playing in front of fans. But what happened was after the bubble year, the Lakers won that little Mickey Mouse championship. That next year, teams were back playing in their own arenas, but fans weren't attending yet. The fans didn't start back attending the games until like midway through the season. So, and by that time, James Wiseman was out for the rest of the season. He only played half of his. He only played half of his rookie year. Okay, it was already a truncated season. It was 72 games, a 72-game season, and he played like 35, 36, 37 games. And even in that year, his rookie year, he was what, 12 and 6, 12 and 7. You know what I'm saying? And that was the year where Steph Curry finished 3rd in the MVP voting. After he went ballistic the second half of the season. And that's when Steph Curry didn't remind me shit. I already knew what it was. He reminded all y'all bitch niggas that acted like he lost something or he didn't lose nothing. It's just that when KD came over here, that took a little bit of his shine away. You got to share the rock a little bit more now. Not that the rock wasn't already being shared, but the star spotlight had to be shared now with Kevin Durant. So it made it feel as if Steph wasn't not that he wasn't the same player, not that he wasn't as dynamic. We just didn't see it as much. The games with the Curry flurries and all the type of games that he had in 15 and 16, we didn't see them as much because the team was so good. Because we had all these fucking all-star players and shit. He didn't have to do all of that. So I already knew it was still there. You know what I mean? And he just proved it. So once he did that last year, and we barely missed the playoffs. Should have made the playoffs, but last year was the first year of the play-in system. So we would have made the playoffs as an 8 seed, but because of the play-in system was introduced that year, and it was his first year, we had to go to the play-in and all that. We end up, whatever. We end up losing both of those games. I don't want to get it. We lost the first game to the Lakers. We was up by 13 in the first play-in game. Should have won that, but whatever. Then the second play-in game against the Memphis Grizzlies, they just played us tough, and it came down to the wire, and we ended up losing. So whatever. But it was I felt like we already had because at the beginning of the year, which was James Wiseman's rookie year, the year that Steph finished third in the MVP voting, and we went 39-3 and barely missed the playoffs. At the beginning of that year, it looked like a repeat of the previous year, the bubble year in 2020, when we was like 15-50. Like we started out the first two games getting blown off the court. In the first game by the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn, and the second game by the Milwaukee Bucks, who ended up winning the championship that year. So we started out 0-2, and in both of those games, we lost by a combined like 70 points or some crazy shit like that. We lost the first game by like 40, and then we lost to the Bucks by like 30. That was the first two games of the year. So it made it look like the Warriors is done. And then we won that third game in Chicago, and then slowly but surely, we started to resemble and put together the pieces of what this championship team that ended up being a championship team, like the 39-33 year, the 72 game year, which was the year before we just won this championship. That year was just the start of us putting together what we did this year. You know what I mean? And it really picked up momentum the last 25 to 30 games of the previous year. We just, we didn't have enough to make the playoffs, but we took that momentum and carried it into this past year, which we won a championship. In particular, Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole started to play like the player that he was this past year, the end of the previous year. You know what I mean? Like those last 20 games, he was showing signs. So yeah. But why was I saying that? I say that to say that so let me get back to my original point, which was that if James Wiseman had got drafted by the Charlotte Hornets or the Minnesota Timberwolves, he would have had better numbers, because they would have threw him out there to the Wolves, you know what I'm saying, as a rookie on a bad team, and he would have, scored 17, 18, 19 points a game and grabbed 8, 9, 10 rebounds a game as a rookie. He would have done that. So that's the first thing. That's my argument. That's my perspective on the whole James Wiseman, LaMelo Ball situation. Like the Warriors drafted for fit, what they needed. Okay? The Warriors ain't never had no motherfucker like James Wiseman down there this whole championship run. The whole time they've been winning championships since 2015. They ain't never had nobody down there like that. So to add something like that to Steph, Clay, and Dre, you know what I mean, and Iggy, and the rest of the crew, that was the right pick. Now, so to me, that's just how I feel. I feel like had we drafted LaMelo Ball, I'm not saying he wouldn't have been a good player. He still would have been a good player, but he just wouldn't have had the time to. He wouldn't have the opportunities that he has with the Charlotte Hornets to show what he's doing with the Charlotte Hornets. He just wouldn't have had it. You know what I'm saying? So, initially at the beginning, he wouldn't have had that. He wouldn't have had those opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Maybe sometime down the road he would have, but they would have brought him on slow, man. Just like how they brought on James Wiseman. So, now with that being said, with James Wiseman, so that's the one thing with LaMelo James Wiseman thing. But so I feel like obviously that the Warriors did make the right pick, and the reason why is because, see, one of the things that irks me about this James Wiseman topic is that when I hear fans, when I'm listening to sports talk radio and even some media members, when I hear them talk about James Wiseman, like they talk about him as if like he's like a 4 or 5 year veteran that we've had the opportunity to see what he can do on the court and he's just not doing it. Or he's, you know, he's a 4 or 5 year veteran. You know, I hear people talk about him like he's a 4 or 5 year veteran that has all these games and all this experience under his belt, and he just isn't living up to being the number 2 overall draft pick. And that's just not the case. Okay? It's just not the case. His rookie year, he played, like I said, he played 35 or 36, 37 games. He averaged 12 and 6. Okay? And then he tore his meniscus in his knee or whatever, and he was out for the season. Okay? If you just look at his numbers were not bad for a rookie. Like bro, we're not, like I said, this is not a 4-year veteran we talking about. We're talking about somebody that was a rookie. He was a rookie. So when I heard people saying like, oh, well, she showed that he doesn't know where to be defensively and as far as, you know, rebounding, and once again, he was a rookie. So you motherfuckers expect for this nigga to come right in and be David Robinson, be Kevin Garnett, be Tim Duncan right off the bat. It don't work like that, bro. He only played 3 games in college. Before whatever happened, when something happened, he got suspended or something happened. And he only played 3 games at Memphis. I forget what it was or whatever, but he was only allowed to play 3 games at Memphis due to NCAA rules or whatever the fuck. Okay? So essentially, he hasn't really played a whole bunch of basketball since high school. Okay? And I mean, James Wiseman is a mammoth down there, bro. He's a beast. He's big. He's athletic. He's agile. You know, he got a shot. He can step out and shoot a jumper and shoot a 3. He got a little handle. You know what I mean? He got all the tools to be a great defender and rebounder. And I hear motherfuckers talking about this nigga like he, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to this person, to this player, because I feel like injuries also robbed him of a great career. But they niggas talking about this motherfucker like he Greg Oden. Like, bro, it has not gotten to that point yet. Okay? Like you cannot judge him off or expect him to, they talk, oh, well, you know, he, like, yeah, I seen in his rookie year that, you know, like there were times where, like, for example, in his rookie year, there was a game we were getting ready to play the Denver Nuggets. I already knew. I said, Jokic finna dog the shit out this young man. He finna dog the shit out of him. Just because, like, bro, you can have all the talent in the world and all that, but there's a certain way to play the NBA game. And as a rookie, it's impossible for you to understand how to play basketball in the NBA. Okay? As a big man, you got to know how to position yourself on the court to be able to get rebounds. You don't just get rebounds just because you're tall. Yeah, that helps. That's half the battle. But you also got to know how to, you know, position yourself, and when it comes to defense, you got to know what to look for. Don't be going for all these pump fakes and all that shit and all the time. When you an inexperienced player, somebody like Jokic or Embiid, they gonna dog Wiseman down there, bro, because he doesn't know. He's wet behind the ears. He doesn't know what he has to go against. He has to go up against these players a few times to understand, oh, okay, this how you do it. This how I play against him. So the fact that he didn't look good against certain players that are MVP caliber players and shit, or like, bro, I have no concern about James Wiseman. He was a rookie. He's a rookie, bro. Everybody don't come into the league like LeBron James. I'm sorry. It just don't happen. That's a rarity. So look at Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant didn't come into the league like that. Yeah, he was drafted out of high school and, you know, yeah, but it took Kobe about 2-3 years. It took him about 2.5, 3 years to become the Kobe that we all know. Okay? Another example this is where I see James Wiseman. I see James Wiseman, and hopefully I'm right. I'm not, but if we remember, Joel Embiid missed his first 2 seasons entirely. He didn't play at all. So in his third year, which would have technically be his his third year in the league, was actually his rookie year. He was still considered a rookie year in his third season because he missed his entire real rookie season. He missed his entire second season with injury. He didn't play at all. And look what he's come out to be. He's a perennial MVP caliber player every year. Okay, yeah, he's had some knickknacks, some knee injuries, here and there throughout the time since he's been back on the court. But I looked at James Wiseman as more agile and athletic than Joel Embiid. I'm not worried about James Wiseman's injuries like that. Like he ain't just had a whole litany of injuries to where it's time to. Now, I will say this upcoming year, maybe if he starts to have something with that knee and it looks like he's not going to be able to play, if he misses some significant time, then maybe this year I'll start to get a little worrisome about, is he going to ever be able to play a whole season kind of deal. But that still doesn't mean he can't have a solid NBA career or whatever. But like I said, I don't even think it's gonna get to that point. Like I said, he could have came back this year. He could have came back at the end of the year in the playoffs. He played in the summer league, and there was no problem. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think James Wiseman is gonna have injury issues. Like he's going to be injury prone. Will he get injured throughout his career? Yeah, everybody gets hurt here or there. You know what I'm saying? But as far as being injury prone, I don't see that. At least I'm hoping not. I'm just not worried about that. Joel Embiid has more of an injury issue. And even him, he's been relatively healthy over the past 2, 3, 4 years. So yeah, I'm not. So I'm looking at James Wiseman to kind of repeat what Joel Embiid did. You know what I mean? As far as not playing a lot his first few years, and then once he finally is able to play, he takes off. I'm not saying that James Wiseman is going to become an MVP candidate type player. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, I'm saying that though he can become what DeAndre Ayton is to the Suns, or maybe even a little bit more. Okay, that's what he can do. So, but yeah, that's been my whole thing about James Wiseman, man, is that, like, bro, I have not ever been, not even a little bit, worried about James Wiseman and what he can be. Like, I think it is the skill of, I think, like, we so fortunate to have him, man, and Marcus Spears. I heard him speak on it as well. You know what I mean? He feels exactly how I feel. Like all this talk about James Wiseman, like he, like talking about him like he a damn near borderline bust. It's like, what are we doing? Like, what are y'all watching? Like, what? I mean, do we not give nobody? Like, are we not going to give these players 2 to 3 years to show who they? I mean, he only played 1 year. This past year was his second year. He didn't play the whole year. He only played 35 games his first year. Essentially, when he plays and he starts the season off this year, which will be his third year, he's still going to be a rookie. It's 82 games in a season. He's only played 35. So as far as games played in the league, he technically is a rookie still. So even this year going forward, this third year, I still don't expect him to all of a sudden just 20 and 10. But what we need, and as his career goes on, I feel like, and as our core right now get, Steph, Clay, and Dre, as they start to get older and fade out, the team will become more of his, more of Jordan Poole's, more of Kuminga's type deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't like, so it's perfect. It's perfect the way it's going. They can bring him in, they can bring him along slow, you know what I mean? Get his bearings up under him, get to really learn how to play the NBA game. Because once he know how to, the physical tools is there. It's all there. But once he actually gets it in his head how to play the game of basketball in the NBA, it's over. It's over, bro. So Draymond gonna be looking for him on them little alley-oops, them little in the paint alley-oops that they always be throwing. Like we was throwing when JaVale McGee was here and all that shit, man. So yeah, I heard Marcus Spears talk about it, man. He basically, I mean, he was sound like he was disgusted to hear local media members and fans so down on James Wiseman, like I said, like he didn't play 4-5 years and just been a bust. It hasn't happened. It hasn't happened, bro. Give this man time to fail. Y'all haven't even gave him time to fail yet. Give him time to fail. A rookie, your rookie year, you essentially get a pass that year. Even if you're the most horriblest player ever, you get a pass that year, bro. You a rookie. And then your second year, you don't get a full pass, but you still kind of get a little bit of a pass. You're still a young player. By your third year, if you have been playing your rookie year in your second year, which James Wiseman hasn't, like I said, he's essentially going to still be a rookie when he steps on the court this upcoming year. If you have been playing for the most of, like LaMelo Ball, his first and second year, like Anthony Edwards, his first and second year, then yeah, by the third year, you're expected to, at least start to show, okay, if you haven't already, it's by that third year, you're at least supposed to be starting to show the type of player that you're going to be. Like you basically almost there. You know what I'm saying? And then if you're not, then by that third, fourth year, then that's when you can, people can start to be like, I don't know. He hasn't kind of lived up to what we thought he was going to be. But you got to let 3-4 years go by first, bro. You got to let 3-4 years go by first. You got to give these young players, time to. I know we want these young players across all sports. We want them to be MVPs from the jump. As soon as they come in, you know what I mean? As soon as it don't work like that with everybody, bro. It don't work like that with everybody. Like I said, what's the topic of this episode? James Wiseman will be fine. I'm willing to put any type of money on it, bro. Like, that's how confident I am, bro. Like I said, I'm not saying that he gonna be Shaq O'Neal. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying he's gonna be for us exactly what we need him to be. A defensive presence at the rim, a rebounder, a lane runner, you know what I mean? And a stretch big at times. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we need him to be. We don't need him to be Shaq O'Neal. You know what I mean? Not saying that not saying that he can't be. Not that he can't be like he can be Shaq. I'm saying that type of all-star, caliber player. You know what I mean? I know they don't have similar games or nothing like that, but I mean a big that can have an impact like a Shaq. He can be that. I believe so, but he won't be that with this team, at least not right now. You know what I mean? Because our core is still there. Steph's still there. Clay's still there. Drake's still there. So, but like I said, he can be DeAndre Ayton. Like I said, that's the perfect example that I can think of right now. If he just beat DeAndre Ayton, I don't really see how we. If he can be what DeAndre Ayton is to the Suns, and we don't have no significant key injuries to any of our key players, where they got to miss a significant amount of time, I don't see how we don't win the championship. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's always some monkey wrenches that's going to happen. It's always going to be some things that you don't foresee happening. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, yeah, I mean, I don't see how we don't win the championship if all of those things that I just said come to fruition. So, because I mean, yeah, and in Summer League, you can see James Wiseman, he bulked up, he got bigger, he got stronger. I mean, he looked like a mean son of a bitch down there. He looked like a big mean motherfucker down there, man. So, but yeah, man, like y'all need to chill out off James Wiseman. Y'all need to chill out off James Wiseman. James Wiseman's gonna be fine. Okay? So all of this shit about trading James Wiseman and this and that, but man, listen, we good where we at, bro. We just won a championship. We got our core right now is still intact, like it's been the past, 8-9 years. Our future core is already set, ready to go. You know what I mean? We got the bridge, from Steph, Clay, and Dre to, Steph, Clay, Dre, Iggy to Poole, Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody. And then the other little youngsters we just drafted this year, Patrick whatever Jr. and Guy Santos and like man, bro, like the Warriors know what the fuck they doing. You know what I'm saying? So James Wiseman will be fine. He will be okay. And I totally think giving up on him or trading him and all that other shit, I totally think that would be a mistake. I totally think that would be a mistake. And I love the fact that the owner, Joe Lacob, he's totally in on James Wiseman. Because the front office and the coaching staff, they know what he can be. They know what we have in James Wiseman. You don't just give up on something like that. Because he, like I said, he didn't even have a bad rookie year. Like, what were y'all watching? I don't understand the negativity around James Wiseman, bro. I mean, the stuff that people are complaining about when it comes to James Wiseman is it's typical rookie shit that anybody that's as young as him and wet behind the ears and as unexperienced as he is in the league, is typical rookie shit, growing pain type shit. Shit that you expect from a rookie or a second year player. Like I said, even a second year player, you don't know it all. So I'm just like I said, to me, I don't. He didn't even have a bad rookie year. He had a solid rookie year. Okay, 12-6. James Wiseman had some games in his rookie year. Now, granted, we were a bad team that year, or we were an okay team that year. We were a bad team the previous year before him. And the year he came, we were an okay team. Started out as a bad team, but he had a few 20-point games that year. I want to say he even had a 30-point game or two. You know what I'm saying? Like James Wiseman he definitely showed potential in flashes. I'm sorry, I've seen nothing from James Wiseman to get me to being like, oh well, maybe we made the wrong pick and we should have drafted LaMelo and maybe it's time to trade him for, man, fuck all that. For what? For what? What, y'all wanted a nigga to average 20 and 10 his rookie year? And for him to lead us to a championship or something? I mean, I don't get it. Like I said, I'm gonna keep drilling it in y'all thick motherfucking heads. James Wiseman will be fine. James Wiseman gonna be fine. Y'all ain't gotta worry about James Wiseman. He gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at who he coming up around. Look at what's around him, bro. Like, he almost can't fail. He almost can't fail. You know what I mean? Now, like I said, if y'all expecting a nigga to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, okay, well, that's on you for having those type of expectations. I'm talking about he almost can't fail because of the fact that look at his teammates, look at Steph, look who he's learning from. Look at Clay, look at Dre, okay? Look at his head coach, Steve Kerr, and all the wisdom and knowledge and basketball knowledge that he has. Okay, and Bob Myers, and I mean, like, and Iguodala. I mean, come on, man. James Wiseman is he, like I said, man, he almost can't fail, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I really truly feel like this year, the Warriors is gonna get some return on their investment. You know, in regards to James Wiseman, you're gonna start to see it, okay? Because now this is going to be his first year actually playing with the full court. Okay, his rookie year, he played with Steph a little bit, probably like 2 or 3 games before Steph got hurt, and he barely played with Steph. Okay, and then he played with him by the time Steph came back. Before the season got shut down by the pandemic, he was already hurt. He was hurt. He was done for the season. So, and then, yeah, he did play with Draymond, and, Draymond got in his ass a few times or whatever, but that's just how Draymond is. Like I said, but he never got a chance to play with Clay. He hadn't got a chance to play with Clay yet. Okay? So now he's coming back to a team that's fully assembled, championship caliber, ready. All he got to do is step right in and just play his role. That's all he got to do. And he know exactly what his role is because they letting him know what his role is. And as the days and years and games go by, his role will start to increase. Okay? But yeah, no, I'm not worried about James Wiseman. Yeah, I ain't worried about no damn James Wiseman. Oh, wow. Hold on, man. Yeah, I ain't worried about no damn James Wiseman. Hold on, y'all, my bad. I dropped a little weed. Clear out my damn weed, man. And finish off this combo right here. Yeah, though. But yeah, I'm not, the last motherfucker I'm worried about is James Wiseman. know. So that's just what that is. Yeah, the last motherfucker I'm worried about is James Wiseman. You know, and that's just that, man. You know, it's just a lot. It's a lot of things I've heard over the, you know. It's let me think, man, because I can technically be done with this episode now. I kind of feel like I've said what I needed to say, although I do feel like something that I'm forgetting, because I just, man, it's been a lot of stuff that I've heard about James Wiseman, you know, that that I just don't agree with, you know. But like I said, just to recap, the whole LaMelo James Wiseman thing. I mean, I don't even see how people can't see that LaMelo's a great player, great young player. But I don't know why people can't see that LaMelo is having the success that he's having. I mean, simply because he has the opportunity to have that success. You know what I mean? He's been playing basically from day one. And now, James Wiseman's rookie year, the Warriors did kind of give him a little leeway to kind of, you know, experience and kind of get out there and do what he kind of want to do, because it was another one of those years where we kind of looked at it as a down year. So he did get through out there a little bit. You know, but like I said, LaMelo getting drafted by the Warriors means he's coming off the bench. You know, he has a specific role. So just by sheer nature of that alone, it's different. You know what I mean? It would be different. And like I said, on the flip side, let James Wiseman had got drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves, who had the first pick that year, or the Charlotte Hornets, who had the third pick that year. He would also be putting up those type of numbers and probably be a borderline all-star player. You know what I mean? Because that's just how talented that he is. You know what I mean? Like I said, he just happened to be drafted, not unfortunately, fortunately enough for him. He just happened to be drafted by a championship caliber team. You know what I mean? With a front office that know what the fuck they doing. So, you know, that's what's going on with James Wiseman. You know, what else, man? It's crazy that because I've heard some people say some erroneous things about James Wiseman. You know, and let me see. Hold on, let me see something real quick. Let me see something. Let me see something real quick. Because I might have some receipts to pull up. Press the wrong shit. I might have some receipts. I just want to make sure that, because this is a topic, this is an episode I've been wanting, like I said. It's been like 9-10 months I've been wanting to do this, man. So I just want to make sure before I end this live that I just want to make sure let's see here if this thing gonna let me do this. It might not, but I'm trying to pull up the internet on my other phone, my phone that's off. I'm on YouTube right now on my phone right here that's on, but then I got this, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to just get onto the hotspot from this phone right here, because I ain't got no internet on this phone unless I'm not buying it. This phone is off, so ain't no data on it or whatever, but I can jump on the internet if I got internet service. I'm not close enough to my house right now for it to reach, so I'm like up the street, around the corner, and where I'm at, all the networks around here, I can't log in. Excellent security, sign in. Yeah, man. I don't know. It might be all bad because I can't jump onto the net. I might go back over here around by the house, but I'm sitting right here because I'm in the shade and it's hot. In my little parking spot over there at the house, I'm sitting right in the fucking sun. You know what I'm saying? But I would have the internet. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking about heading over there real quick, man. And yeah, let me do that real quick, because I'm finna end this live anyway. So let me go ahead on and do that. Let me go ahead on and get it. I mean, my bad for the little, you know what I mean? For the little pause in action. And if I'm doing all this, hopefully I'll find what the fuck I'm looking for, because it would be sure enough be some bullshit to do all this shit for nothing. But yeah, man, you know, that's just where I'm at with it, man. You know, James Wiseman to me, he a beast. He a beast down there. You know what I'm saying? And Yeah, I just don't understand all the negativity in regards to James Wiseman and what he could potentially be off of judging him off 35 games out of 72 of his rookie year. I just don't see that as enough time to evaluate this man. Yeah, I just don't see that. I'm gonna do it like this so that way I ain't sitting in the sun. Okay. And let me see this way. Now, let me see if I got better service where I'm at. Let me see. Bam. Okay, cool. So check this out. Let me see. Let's see. James Wiseman. Pull up some news. Because I know I'm going to find something here that let me see. James Wiseman. Criticism. This is return from. You know, it's really one of them things where it's really like local criticism. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Let me go to YouTube. It's really like local media. That's the sad part about it. You know, the local media, sports media, is really, you know, the ones that be coming with all of the negativity. Oh, Nick Friedel, this old big chin ass bitch. Nick Friedel bitch ass. I know for a fact this motherfucker, cause I done heard this nigga, that's he negative Nancy. That's all he is, man. Let me see. Let's check this out.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's check this out.
Look at Priceline. You save more so you can move.
Here, mainly because if you're...
This is a video from Romp 2.0. The title of it is James Wiseman, the most misunderstood player in the NBA. And looks like this was a uploaded a day ago. It's just I just typed in James Wiseman on YouTube, and it's one of the first videos that popped up. So and it looks like the perspective of somebody just by the title. It feels like it, and it's only 8 minutes long. It looks like the perspective of somebody that probably more than not I agree with. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what they got to say.
Draymond Green, 11th pick, Steph Curry. 35th overall pick, Draymond Green. 11th overall pick, Klay Thompson. Future Hall of James Wiseman is a very polarizing player, mainly because if you're picked second overall, instantly unreal expectations get put on your shoulders. Also, 7th overall pick, Steph Curry. 35th overall pick, Draymond Green. 11th overall pick, Klay Thompson. Future Hall of Famers. The New Age Warrior fan is so used to every pick panning out, and at the second pick, you're expected to be a star, a franchise changer. James Wiseman might not be that, but to paint him as a bad player that can't be used like some are after a short injury-riddled career is just unfair and false. Today, I will go over why Wiseman will be a valuable player for the Warriors next season, and more importantly, the future. Leave a like, it's much appreciated. It only takes a second. So keep in mind, the only time Wiseman was healthy and playing consistently in the NBA so far was when the Warriors were butt cheeks, and centers like him benefit from top-tier talent around them. Next year, the Warriors will be championship caliber, which will make his life easier and hide his flaws. Plus, winning is contagious, and when winning is happening, everyone plays at their best in a winning environment. The crazy thing is, in his short time, he already showed he has an elite level skill that will get him minutes in this league, aka his rim protection and defensive versatility. The idea of him learning alongside a defensive wizard like Draymond Green would get me hyped if I was a Warriors coach or fan. He showed signs of greatness on this end of the floor in flashes. Look at this. In the pick and roll, Dane gets a full head of steam. Wiseman is quick enough and long enough with his 7'6" wingspan to stay in front and make Dane pass the rock. Having Draymond next to him is insane. Wiseman cuts off CJ in the pick and roll, then Draymond cuts off the roll man. Wiseman then goes back in for the rebound. He also showed signs of crazy defensive upside against the Suns. First play, D-Book gets the pass. He has the edge on Toscano Anderson. Wiseman helps, while at the same time, he's taken away the lob pass. Easy layup opportunity gets denied. Pick and roll again. Take away the roll man while deterring the shot. His length disrupts campaign on this one, and he misses the lay-in. Lastly, against the point guard, great screen leaves Wiseman on an island. His positioning and length takes away the roll pass. He still gets a great contest on Chris Paul at the same time, and it results in a missed shot. Simply put, his defense is legit, and he can stay in front of multiple positions. As I was watching film on him, I believe he will be a great rebounder as well if he is locked in and hustling. Simply because he's an athletic specimen and he's long as Slender Man. It's just about him wanting to be a great rebounder, and I know the Warriors will demand that out of him, or he just won't see the floor as much as he should. Now, offensively, he's a mixed bag. Some good, some bad, some questionable decisions. First off, with his size and length, he's a great target when the defense is scrambling around. And with the Warriors' offensive flow and gravity of Steph and Klay Thompson, he will get easy opportunities to finish at the rim just through the natural flow of the offense. His insane athleticism should be acknowledged and excite Warriors fans for his roll man potential. With Steph, he will draw multiple bodies just like on this play. Little pocket pass, Wiseman doesn't give a flying fluff about the help side defender and just annihilates the rim. Again, same idea. Steph gets multiple guys on it. Great pass. He elects to shoot the floater. Unfortunate miss. However, he will have opportunities to kick it out for wide open threes. And with more time, he will develop a sense of when to be selfish and shoot the shot and when to pass it based on how the defense plays him, but that would just take some time. However, in this same game,
he made a couple plays that showed his untapped potential in there. Right here, he gets a loose ball, and on the fast break, he makes a rocket pass. Impressive read for a guy his size in transition. Then the staple of the Warriors offense, little mid-post, off-ball screen, simple pass, but effective. That passing ability is in his system. It's there. They just got to pull it out of it. But like I was saying, untapped potential. Randomly, he will pull a play like this out of his, I don't know where it came from, but it makes you gasp for air and believe he has star potential offensively. Like, are you kidding me? He can run the floor like a guard, which will be a huge weapon for the Warriors considering he's only a center. He also had some impressive drives out of the mid-post or just in the flow of the game. And not only that, but he has shown potential of being lethal with the face-up jumper out of the mid-post. Was any of that consistent, you may ask? Well, not really, but he's only 21 years old.
I mean,
he got crazy at times with some poor shot selection as well. He really needs to just slow down. It seems like when he was committing silly turnovers or forcing drives and forcing up shots, he was thinking in his head, I gotta make a play. I gotta make a play. I gotta make a play. Nah, you don't have to make a play every single time. You got Steph Curry on your squad. You got Klay Thompson on your squad. You don't got to do something every time. Just swing the ball and move around. Once again,
everyone comes out here for a different reason. To break records.
Now.
Or break down barriers. To float effortlessly or
now that's all I'm saying. Like,
to go big or to feel small. To leave it all out. Or take everything in. To escape the chaos.
Again, those are young player bad habits and will take time. It's simply put, if he doesn't stop those things, he probably won't see the floor in crucial situations because Steve Kerr won't have the trust in him. But personally, seeing what the Warriors have done with Kevon Looney, I got extreme optimism.
Like, you know, he basically just showing you, you know, a lot of his good, you know, highlights, you know, throughout his rookie year, but just basically showing you the potential of what he could do. And that was with that team, with that version of the team, with no Klay and, you know, so we basically saying the same things. Like, you see how bouncy that he is, how big he is, how agile, athletic. Like I said all that earlier. Y'all, you could just see it right there. You know what I mean? I know some of the, you know, when I first put it up there, the glare was, you know, you see a little bit more of the glare, but when I actually, you know, take my phone down and place it directly in front of the other phone, then you see, like, he can dribble, he can shoot, he can pass, he can rebound, he has the potential to be a great defender. So he's got the total package, bro. I mean, the whole notion, just like he said, the whole notion of James Wiseman, you know, being a bad player, I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? I don't get that. And don't agree with that. Never have agreed with that. And you know, yeah, I don't understand how you judge a man and say he a bust after 35 games. You know, I don't see it nor understand it. You know.
They believing that the bad habits will be fine-tuned.
Plus, there's potential for him to be a threat in the mid-post as a passer, as a driver, as a shooter. He has skills offensively that peaked out every now and again when he played. It just needs to be developed. They know a thing or two about developing talent, let's just be honest. Will he ever be a star caliber player? Who knows? Probably not. But right now, I'm talking about next year. He has the skills the Warriors can use. His defense, his athleticism, his versatility. Don't think he will be a starter next season, but having a 7-footer with a 7'6" wingspan who can play defense and run the floor like a guard and guard multiple positions, that's a useful talent right there. I'm telling you, you're going to see him on the floor next season. It's just about will he, consistently perform. That's the question. But I believe Wiseman has a lot of untapped potential, and I'm excited to see him grow. This play right here perfectly shows his potential and all the things he can excel at next season for the Warriors. In the pick and roll, as a roll man, he gets the lob because of his size and length. And then on the other end of the floor, he's stopping the pick and roll with a huge block. The Warriors then turn it over, and he's hustling, guarding everything, taking up space, and then he hustles out to Dante DiVincenzo and causes a walk. Just total disruption and, impact from a 7-footer. That's what you want from James Wiseman.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, it's just the all the potential and all that is there, bro. It's all there.
Clean, simple, effective deodorant. It's not a myth. It's native.
Let me see. Yeah, he had a meniscus injury. Now let's maybe hear something from the opposite perspective. You know what I mean? Devil's advocate, so to speak.
James Wiseman came.
This is from Treese, Treese. The YouTube channel is the name of it is Treese. And the title of this video is James Wiseman's G League highlights don't look good. And this video premiered 4 months ago, so it's still relatively new. But that's total bullshit. I seen his G League highlights this past year in the 3 games that he played before they shut him down because he had swelling in his knee. He looked like a mammoth down there. So I don't know what this man finna say or what he finna try to say, but I disagree with the title already. But let's hear it.
Into this NBA season with pretty mixed reports as to James Wiseman came into this NBA season with pretty mixed reports as to when we would actually get to see him play. We're now approaching the 1-year mark since Wiseman's successful surgery on his meniscal tear.
And to say the least, the Warriors have been ultra cautious with their second overall pick ever since. And in a sense, I can't blame them. James Wiseman is a player who came into the NBA with great expectations, not only because he was taken second overall and was a tantalizing prospect, but also because he was drafted by a team like the Warriors, joining such a recently successful organization that just experienced a dynasty would bring immense pressure to any teenager. Moreover, the Golden State Warriors are the most watched basketball team in the world, meaning every single play of Wiseman's was going to be analyzed under a microscope. And you didn't exactly need a microscope to determine that there were a few things about Wiseman that didn't look right during year number 1. He fouled a whole lot, his motor was on and off, the basic numbers looked good, but the eye test and the advanced metrics pointed the other direction in terms of his impact. It was an up and down year. All of that was to say that it makes sense for the Warriors front office to sort of keep Wiseman on a leash this year. Let him practice.
Now, all that is true, what he said, as far as the like I said, he was 12-6. If you just go off the numbers, it looked like, but he had some games where he looked, but he looked like a rookie. So everything was true what he just said there, but the underlying message there is he was a rookie. You see what I'm saying? So if he's a fourth year player and he's doing these things still, okay, you got me. But as a rookie, you know what I'm saying? Those things are to be expected.
Let him scrimmage, use his injury as an excuse to hold and foul the whole lot. His motor was on and off. The basic.
He fouled a whole lot. His motor was on and off. He did foul a lot. You know what I'm saying? What did I say earlier in this live? You have to learn how to play the NBA game. Once he learns how to, once he becomes more cerebral with the game, okay, then all of that is, I'm not worried about that, because all of that to the average NBA player, those type of things come just with experience and just with playing. So, and I look at James Wiseman as at least an average NBA player. You know what I'm saying? So I have no problem that he's going to be able to pick up the intricacies of the NBA game, and how to position yourself and not to reach and how to go straight up and just learn how not to foul so much. You know what I'm saying? All that is going to come with time. You know what I'm saying? The athletic side of James Wiseman is there's too much upside there to, take 35 games in his rookie season and be like, yeah, this guy's trash. Yeah, he's not living up to being a number 2 pick. Nope, nah. But yeah, he did foul a lot. There was some times where maybe his motor wasn't he didn't maybe bring it every night. Not that he didn't bring it every night, but sometimes as a rookie, you may have, you don't start out a game the way you think you should start out. You may get a little discouraged, which can affect your it can affect your energy sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And your effort and how you play, and it can be happening subconsciously. Like or it can be happening consciously, like you know it and you just like, man, I ain't feeling it. Or but a lot of times it could be subconsciously, like you just ain't giving that energy and you're not really realizing it. You know what I'm saying? But your body language is not good. You know what I'm saying? So
numbers looked good, but the eye test and the advanced metrics pointed the other direction in terms of his impact. It was an up and down year. All of that was to say that it makes sense for the Warriors front office to sort of keep Wiseman on.
yeah, it was an up and down year. It was an up and down rookie year. He was a rookie. That's my whole point. That's my whole point about this whole episode. That's why I'm like, he'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? He'll be fine. Like, you just gotta let this man. You just gotta get this man the opportunity to fail. You know what I'm saying? That's just pretty much what you gotta do. He haven't even had the opportunity to fail. You know what I'm saying? Before motherfuckers is just, ready to count this man out.
A leash this year. Let him practice, let him scrimmage, use his injury as an excuse to hold him off as much as you can until you know he's NBA ready, both mentally and physically. And at least physically, James Wiseman is totally healthy. I don't care what anybody says. You don't let a player play professional basketball if they aren't ready physically. But that's not the real issue here. The secret that Golden State is not telling anybody is that they don't know if James Wiseman is mentally prepared to come back to a team trying to win a world championship this season. Is he prepared to hear the opinions of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Warriors fans out there who are prepared to claim whether or not Wiseman has improved at all immediately once he stepped on the court, or if he sort of regressed since last playing? As a part of the process, they put him in the G League first. That way he could look like an absolute specimen of a player to get Warriors fans hyped up, just for Steve Kerr to play him like 5 minutes once he's back with Golden State and very gradually increase his playing time as the season continues. So in case Wiseman is bad, Warrior fans will be able to say he just needs more time. Basically, this is a whole mental development process. Wiseman doesn't seem like the most confident dude in the world, so it's a pretty bright idea. But as I was saying, we've gotten to see James Wiseman return to play through the G League this season, and it's not too often us G League fans get a top 2 NBA draft pick in their second year get some G League run. So it's a pretty big deal. And while
It's a lovely day today, so whatever you got to do.
all the numbers have been
So everything that he said up until this point, I actually agree with. You know what I'm saying? He's not killing them too much. He just pretty much laying the facts out there. But and I don't really agree. I disagree. I don't really disagree with anything that this brother has said. My whole thing is that he's a very young player. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why. That's the sole reason for me not being worried, is because I feel like with James Wiseman, it's not a he's incapable. He's just there is some mental stuff there, but like I said, to me that's because he's a young player. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than what was going on with LeBron James. Yeah, they're two different level caliber players. But I'm saying as far as the mental, it's the same thing. It's how you go from being an average player to a good to great player to or being a good to great player that's an elite player. You know what I'm saying? It's the difference. The mentality, the mental, and a lot of times it comes with LeBron James. It came with experience, and having to do it over and over and over again, and fail, and just continue to push through, and just become mentally strong enough to be able to push through, whether you fail or succeed. You know what I'm saying? So So for me, it's no different with James Wiseman, man. This is you know, I really think that if people say, oh well, you can only get better by playing. You can only get better by playing. True, I don't disagree with that. However, I think with the time that he got to play his rookie year, okay, along with this past year, him, even though he didn't play any regular season NBA minutes, he played a little bit like what this video is about, which was his G League play in the 3 games before he got shut down, and then he played in the summer league. But I'm talking about in the regular season and in the playoffs, he didn't play at all. But I believe with how many games he played his rookie year, along with what he's seen his team and teammates do this year to win a championship. Because, yeah, like I said, I do agree that you can only get better. I somewhat agree. Yes, I agree, but you can only get better by actually being on a court or being on a field and actually playing. But at the same time, you can't tell me that there's nothing mentally this year that he didn't gain just from watching a championship be won and just being around the type of team that he's around and the coaches that he has, and just it being his second year in the league. Like I said, even though he didn't play, it still was technically his second year in the league, so it's still gaining more experience about how the NBA is and how just how to be professional and all that type of stuff. Like, you can't tell me that what this guy's talking about on this video mentally, that he didn't gain a little something to where now he'll be more confident out on the floor, and even if he has a bad game, and knowing that, hey, it's 82 games, man. Go get after it the next game. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to get all down on yourself and start to believe the hype and think you suck just because you had a bad quarter or a bad game or whatever, or because Draymond is yelling at you or whatever. That's just how Draymond is. And it all comes with experience. It all comes with just being around the guys more and just being around the game more and just experiencing it all. So I do think now, going into his 3rd year, we're going to start to see the James Wiseman that we're supposed to be seeing. I truly believe that. You know what I'm saying? I truly believe that. So we're going to start to see it this year. So let's see what else this man got to say.
Pretty great, and the highlights have been quite encouraging. I'm here to lay out a case claiming that Walker gets some G League run, so it's a pretty big deal. And while the numbers have been pretty great and the highlights have been quite NBA draft,
I want to show you all his numbers. These are his G League numbers.
So it's a pretty big deal. And while the numbers have been pretty great and the highlights have been quite encouraging, I'm here to lay out a case claiming that Wiseman is not going to return as a dominant big man for the Dubs. And the issues with James Wiseman have the potential to critically damage the success of the Warriors this season. But there are also a few encouraging things that I've noticed that could translate well for the Gold.
Now, mind you, this video is 4 months ago, so it's before they won the championship. So he's talking 4 months. He's talking 4 months ago, which was April. So that was the same month That was the end of the regular season, the start of the postseason. So this is before they won the championship. So it was still a possibility that he could come back. Or this may be right when we found out the news that they were shutting him down, because he's already talking about the G League. He's talking about G League games, and the G League he only played 3 games before they shut him down. So maybe that news was already established, and that's why he did this video. But anyhow, he's talking like James Wiseman coming back is going to somehow derail the season for the Warriors, which didn't happen, and we won the championship. So keep that in mind when watching this. This was 4 months ago before the Warriors won the championship.
State Warriors during Wiseman's brief stint in Santa Cruz. So let's get into it all. Firstly, I don't know how many people out there have noticed, but this dude, James Wiseman, is massive. He's a legit 7'1" with a recorded 7'6" wingspan. And that length of his is easily going to be the most valuable asset for the Warriors once he's back.
I said that. I said James Wiseman is a mammoth. Okay? As a rookie, he was already big. And you know what I mean? He was already, big down there. But, I mean, he bulked up, bro. Yeah. He bulked up. And, now he just beastly. You know what I'm saying? So if he learned how to use that, how he supposed to use that, 7 feet, like, bruh, this nigga's a damn near could be a more agile Shaq or something, nigga.
In the San Fran, Wiseman's defense has been terrific. He's going straight up with players on all sorts of contests, and he's been avoiding getting into foul trouble in 2 games with Santa Cruz. And that's a great sign. Basically, if Wiseman can stay out of fouling opponents, he's going to be a heck of a rim protector. And I'm not just talking about the blocks. This guy's presence alone is enough to...
On first A.
Yeah, let's go! On a trip. Book with Priceline. You save more so you can
to alter shots, but he's also smart enough in there to get his body and hands in the right positions most of the time. Essentially, if James Wiseman isn't moving too much on the perimeter to guard players, he could stick with them and hold them from getting a comfortable shot off. Now, Wiseman alone isn't going to stop offensive players from scoring, but you notice that even with the shots that go in, Wiseman's giving a really solid contest every single time, and he's avoiding fouling with these contests. And if you get anywhere around the paint, you're going to need to get lucky if you want to score on him. Check out here how Wiseman makes a nice contest, grabs the rebound, jogs the distance, gets in the post, finds himself open, and then scores. That's really good stuff. Sticking with the positive things here, there are explosions on the offensive end that make me think Wiseman's motor has completely been renewed. Some of these dunks seem to be done with a bit more emotion than we've seen in the past. To be fair, he was being guarded by a guy who was in high school last year in both of these dunks, but we'll let it slide. Wiseman graduated 2 years ago from high school. We're seeing pretty good evidence that James Wiseman is trying to draw a lot of contact inside. He's not getting to the foul line a whole lot, but he's making contact and bumping into guys. Wiseman's been scoring well on the inside too. He'll be a nice pick and lob threat for Golden State, and who doesn't love a little post hook every once in a while? Show that touch, big guy. Speaking of his motor, he's up to 7 offensive rebounds in 2 games. Check out the thunder he applied to this putback jam and the perseverance on this next one. Motor's looking pretty good here. But here's another offensive board where Wiseman snatches it, which is nice, and his criticized basketball IQ comes into play a little bit as he takes a fadeaway jumper with a halfway reset shot clock instead of just kicking it out. I mean, the whole team was on it. And this is where things go a bit downhill. Firstly, let's briefly review the good stuff. Wiseman's been defending well on the inside and not fouling a whole lot. And he's looking a bit more aggressive, and it shows in his dunks and whatnot. But the whole feel for the game thing, as you just saw with Wiseman's fadeaway putback, looks a whole lot worse when Wiseman's in transition. I sometimes wonder if Wiseman thinks he's a 7-foot point guard with the way he likes to take charge and handle the ball in transition, and it never really goes well. I think the whole 7-foot big man who can dribble and shoot craze has sort of been dying out in recent years. Those guys are fun, but we're realizing how much value big men have when they just stick to big man stuff. And it might not be top 2 pick worthy stuff, but it might be if you're a guy as physically gifted as James Wiseman. But we're going to need to see the big fella get into a guard the next time he tries to do a bit too much. And this isn't to say that he can't score in transition. James Wiseman might be one of the fastest 7-footers in the league after acceleration. And if you get him the ball inside the 3-point line so he doesn't have to dribble at all, good things might happen. I hate to keep talking about the negative things, but I almost went back and looked at Wiseman's hand size after seeing him fumble the ball so many times. It's gotten quite brutal. Here, he misses the lob and just puts his head down instead of making up for it and running back court. Now, I don't know how negative this next part will be, but
Now, I mean, come on now. Like, stuff like that last part, some of that stuff, okay, you know, I see what he's saying, but a lot of that stuff, it's like, you talking about he put his head, I mean, come on, bro. Every player does that once or twice. I mean, I'm not saying that, I'm not excusing it, saying he shouldn't run back. Yes, you need to run back. But that could just be I mean, if you on a court and you trying to do something that you know that you can do and you don't get it done, you might be frustrated with yourself real quick. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I wouldn't just point that out and nitpick that. Like, you know what I mean? He probably felt like, yeah, the pass was maybe a little bit, you know what I mean? But he still feel like I should have still dunked that and put that down. Fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? I should have, you know what I mean? Let me get back down here. You know what I mean? That don't mean he's going to do it every time. You know? But, hey. Let's see what he's going to say on this next part.
basically, we're going to be talking about his shooting. We don't really know how Wiseman will look for a full season where he's shooting more like 3 threes a game, which is triple what he shot last year, but something tells me he's not going to be hitting above 30% if he tried, at least yet. For some reason, those left-handed jumpers never look mechanically awful to me, but I inverted his jumper to make it look like a right-handed shot, and let's just say I haven't been able to get it out of my head since. Basically, James Wiseman looks a bit better in the NBA G League than he really is. He still has me skeptical about some of his issues concerning where he is mentally, like he looks active when he has the ball and he's going for a dunk, but other times it's impossible to know what's going on in his head. I have a theory that from here on out, teams will only draft a big man top 3 if that player is at least alright guarding out there on the wing or an offensive unicorn. I think Wiseman came a bit early in the timeline, so he sort of left scouts hopeful. And this isn't to say that I don't think James Wiseman can become a star, maybe even an all-star, but he's got a lot of work to do, and I don't know how much of his potential is in his control, given what I'm speculating might be going on in his head. Anyways, guys, tell me your thoughts on James Wiseman and his few runs in the G League. So he sort of left scouts hopeful. And this isn't to say that I don't think James Wiseman can become a star, maybe even an all-star, but he's got a lot of work to do, and I don't know how much of his potential is in his control.
Yeah, this dude right here, I mean, you know, the first half of the video I agree with, but saying that James Wiseman still has a lot of work to do. Is that supposed to be some type of like groundbreaking statement or something? Jordan Poole has a lot of work to do too. Jonathan Kuminga has a lot of work to do too. Moses Moody. So what are we talking about, bro? Andrew Wiggins still has a lot of work to do. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, yeah, he still got a lot of work to do. He's a young player, my nigga. He's not what's the word I'm looking for? He's not what he's ultimately going to be yet. So to say he's still got a lot of work to do. He would have a lot of work. Like LaMelo Ball still got a lot of work to do. Trae Young still got a lot of work to do. Like it's not. I mean, just because these players have, been on the court playing and they are great young players, but it's levels to this. Okay, so you've established yourself as a great young player in the league. You've had a couple shots at it now. Are you good enough to elevate your team to championship contention? I mean, that's where a Trae Young is at right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you put together some great seasons. You a 2-time All-Star now and all that, and you done bit the fuck out of Steph Curry style. But whatever. You know what I mean? You doing your thing. And the year before last, you did get to the Eastern Conference Finals. You upset the Philadelphia 76ers in the second round. Okay. But, then you follow that year up with this past year where, you weren't the same team. Don't look like you came out with the same hunger. You barely made the playoffs after, being in the play-in, and got bounced in the first round, and just so it looks like that last year maybe was just a one-off when you got to the Eastern Conference Finals. A lot of teams, can have one solid year where they can make one solid run, to second or third round or whatever, but so I'm just saying that to say that yes, it's levels to having more work to do, but James Wiseman doesn't have the burden of having to carry a team and stuff like that. So I understand that. I'm not trying to put James Wiseman and Trae Young on the same level, or James Wiseman and LaMelo Ball on the same. Now, him and LaMelo Ball may be more closer, but yeah, LaMelo Ball is ahead of him right now. It just, he's an all-star and all that. And he's basically the face of the Hornets right now. But I'm just saying, when we just talk about having work to do, as he said, like, I think most players in the NBA still have work to do. I understand that it's levels to the work, but James Wiseman is still at a rookie kind of level. You know what I mean? So his work to do is a little different than like a Trae Young's work to do. But it's still work to do. So, his work to do is to just like I said, just to incorporate himself on the team and just play his role of what they need that man to do. He can do a little bit of everything, and I think his role will increase, like I said, as the days and games and years go by. But it'll be a gradual increase, because Steph is still in his prime. You know what I mean? It may be starting to be like the back end of the prime, but it's still the prime. You know what I mean? You in your prime, there's a beginning of your prime, the middle of your prime, and the ending of your prime. Even if he's at the ending of his prime, it's still his prime. So, and it may not even be all the way there. He may still be in the middle. You never know. We always looking at age, but shit, you never know. He may still be playing like this 5 years from now. Who knows? I wouldn't put no money on it, but who knows? But yeah, man, so, and to say that he doesn't have control over if or his own destiny of what this nigga say?
Even what I'm speculating might be going on in his head. Anyways, guys, tell me your thoughts on James Wiseman. Made a bit early in the timeline, so he sort of left scouts hopeful. And this isn't to say that I don't think James Wiseman can become a star, maybe even an all-star, but he's got a lot of work to do, and I don't know how much of his potential is in his control. Given what I'm
He don't know how much of James Wiseman's potential is in James Wiseman's control, is in his own control.
speculating might be going on in his head. Anyways, guys.
So and then now he's talking about speculating what might be going on in his head. So now you a shrink. See, that's the part where I started. Like, bro, you don't know what the fuck going on in this nigga head. I understand we can talk from a mental standpoint if we want to. When I talk from a mental standpoint, I'm basically talking from an experience. To where the more experience that you are at something, you're going to become more confident. You know what I'm saying? Because, okay, I know how to do this now. So now I know what to do. I know how it's going. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be more confident in it. I'm not saying mentally, like, I know what's in his head. And I think, like, these niggas be doing too much with that. If I'm thinking about, what's going on in his head. You don't know what the fuck going on in his head, brother. You only know what the fuck going on in your head. So, I mean, that's when I start to, think that these niggas is you niggas is too big for your britches, man. Because, what the fuck is you talking about? But let me see some of the comments from this one. Somebody said Warriors only need him to be JaVale McGee right now. That's exactly okay, right now. So it's the Warriors only need him to be JaVale McGee. And in the parentheses it says right now. That's exactly what I mean. I mean that right now, the right now part is he's going to develop into a more of a starring role as his career goes on. But right now, at this moment, maybe for this next year to 2 to 3 years, we only need him to play he says JaVale McGee. I do agree with that, but like I said, I'm saying DeAndre Ayton. He can bring that type of impact to the Warriors. If he brings that, like I said, I don't see how we don't win it. At least another championship or two. You know what I mean? But it says Warriors only need him to be JaVale McGee, parentheses, right now. Play good defense, rebound, and roll hard to the basket. If he can do those things, then he'll be fine. That's it. That sums it up in a nutshell right now. Okay, play good defense, meaning be a rim protector. You know what I mean? Be protection at the rim. You know what I mean? So these niggas ain't just got a layup line coming through this motherfucker. Okay, play good defense, rebound, which means after you've protected the rim, okay, and either got a block shot or a missed shot, make sure we grab the rebound. Okay. And on pick and rolls, roll hard for them lobs. Like I said, I mentioned it earlier. Draymond gonna be throwing them lobs. Steph gonna be throwing them lobs. Motherfuckers gonna be throwing them lobs. And I mean, he's so athletic. This man can jump out the motherfucking gym. Okay, he can jump out the motherfucking gym. And he tall, he agile, he big. Like it just, this boy can be a beast down there, man. Yeah, he do those things. He gonna be fine. And then, in a year or two, as every year, they're going to start to put a little bit more on his plate. And not even just yearly, even throughout the year. You know what I mean? It may be some times where maybe, hey, something may happen and he may need to take a more of a starring role if somebody can't play or, somebody, a few players is resting or, whatever. You know how these niggas be doing. Or somebody get hurt or whatever. This is another one. That's all I'm saying. Didn't play much his freshman year in college. He only played 3 games. didn't have camp and got hurt last year. He needs reps, plain and simple. I mean, we going on 2 hours. These niggas in the comments is summing up basically what I'm saying. What I done been trying to say in 2 hours, they summing it up in 2 or 3 sentences on comments. You know what I'm saying? That's basically it. Like that's all I've been saying, man. That's what I mean when I say I'm not worried about him. He's a rookie. He's young. He's inexperienced. He just got to play more. He just got to get out there and you know. And the only thing that has kind of been a bit of a setback for him is just the injury. That's it. But now the injury is good. So now he's young enough to. It was never an issue because he was so young. When he got drafted, he was what, 19? So he's 21 now. So the injury was never career-ending or career-threatening or anything like that. Just something that needed to get fixed right now at the very beginning of his professional career, so he can be good for the remainder of his career. And that's just basically it. He just need reps, bro. He just need to get out there and just play and just experience it, and he gonna be A-okay. Building, and it's that same dude, okay? Didn't play much his freshman year in college. Didn't have camp and got hurt last year. He needs reps, plain and simple. He's a freak athlete and is in a luxury situation. Building winning habits on a veteran team where they're not asking him to carry a team. He'll develop just like Poole, Kuminga, and Moody. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. He's a freak athlete, bro, just like this man just said. I just said that. You know what I mean? So, like, all the tools are there. He has all the physical tools, man. So, brother, all this man got to do, you know, is just play his role, and he will naturally develop. You know, just like Jordan Poole, just like Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, you know, Steph Curry, Kevon Looney. I mean, you know, and Kuminga and Moody as well. So, hey, like I said, I'm not worried about James Wiseman. Never been worried about him. Always been excited about him. Always knew that the day would come where, you know, he will finally be healthy and be able to show exactly, you know, what he can do and what he can bring. You know what I'm saying? We forget Jordan Poole. Y'all was saying the same type shit about Jordan Poole. You know, he in the G League and this and that. Jordan Poole was not too far away from you know, maybe, you know, being on the outside looking in this league. You know? So y'all was saying the same things about Jordan Poole. And look what he's turned into. So that's basically it, man, for this one. Fuck. Watch every second of his play in Santa Cruz. Warriors fan. I'm a Warriors fan. I watched every single second of his play in Santa Cruz for the last 3 games. First takeaway from this video: don't make sweeping verdicts based on highlights. Wiseman was +9 in his first game, in which the C-Dubs lost by 10. See what I'm saying? These videos y'all be coming with these narratives and don't be knowing what the fuck y'all talking about. You saying all this shit like now I said at the beginning of his last video, I do agree with what he was saying, but all of that goes back to the fact that he just needs reps. He just needs experience. He's a young player. He's a rookie. You know what I'm saying? So they lost a game by 10 points where he was +9. So that means without him on the court, they was -19. Damn near. Some shit like that. My math may be off with that, but yeah. He was +4 in his second game, in which the game went to overtime and he didn't play in OT. He was -12 tonight against the Clippers in a game the C-Dubs lost by 15 points. He's only played right around 20 minutes per game out of 48. So he ain't even playing half. He's playing less than half the game. Defense, especially contesting shots without fouling, is really good. But it should be noted, he's only playing 20 minutes a night. Tonight was his best night defensively, as he went the whole game without fouling. Also, his first foul last Thursday night was an offensive foul, and I like the aggressiveness more than anything. That comment about him not wanting to dribble and lead the break is not true. Watch the game. He's playing from the post with his back to the basket a lot. You pretty much showed in your video every time he's tried to handle the ball in the open floor in the last 3 games. That is not representative of how he's playing right now. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's running the floor hard and he's finishing on the breaks, but he is not initiating them. I think I counted 4 times that he did. I think I counted 4 times that he did in 3 games, one of which ended in that clumsy turnover you showed. So he basically saying that, like, bro, he's saying I watched all of these G League games, all 3 of the G League games that James Wiseman played. He said, you putting in highlights in your video that are not indicative, are not representative of how he's playing. You talking about he's fumbling the ball and you showing him like he's trying to be Magic Johnson out there. This man saying in 3 games, he probably did that like 3 or 4 times. And you took like 2 or 3 of those 3 or 4 times and put it in your video. And try to make it seem like he's out here trying to be Jason Kidd and initiate the offense and be Mr. Razzle Dazzle up the floor. So this video is cap. He's also not shooting the ball that much from 3. I can attest to that and seeing that because that's what he did in Summer League too. He took 1 or 2 threes, okay? And he made 1 or 2, but he didn't take a lot. He's just showing you, I have this range. I can shoot this, but I don't shoot it at a high enough clip to be taking 5, 6, 7 threes a game. But I can step back here and shoot 1 or 2, and I may make that 1, I may not. If I shoot 2, I may, I may make 1, I may not. If I shoot 3, more than likely I'm gonna probably make 1 of them at 33%. But he's just showing you he got that range. He's also not shooting that much from 3. I think he's taking 5 or 6 in 3 games. His offense is mostly coming in 3 ways: finishing the break with the dump, working from the post and getting his shot to go in, or drawing a foul and getting points at the line. He's also taking 1 or 2 mid-range shots a game, but he seems to be focusing on playing with his back to the basket. I attribute this new emphasis to his work with the coach who developed Jokic over the course of the last year. His rebounding is so much better than last year. He's not 6, 14, and 9 rebounds in 3 games. And he's going up for the board decisively. I think the added muscle he put on in the offseason has helped. Don't know how that will translate against bigger, better athletes in the NBA. So he's basically saying that James Wiseman is doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. He's basically saying the way he's playing, he's basically saying that And what I've seen in these 3 games in the G League, you can tell he's being coached right, and you can tell he's being coached to play this way. Okay, because of you can see where his emphasis is. He's saying, yeah, he might step out occasionally for like a jump shot, or sparingly for a 3, or try to go through the legs or something like that. He said, but for the most part, he's running the floor, getting lob dunks, finishing at the rim or whatever, or he's posting up and getting fouled going to the line. I mean, it's exactly how you want. It's exactly where you want his mind frame to be. You want him to know that I can do these other things, but let me focus on this first. Let my foundation be on the block and down low, because my team already got enough motherfucking shooting on the outside. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, and then everybody else that can get hot at any given time. Andrew Wiggins, you know. So what we don't got down here is a big mammoth beastly ass motherfucker to dominate down low. And it'll be just like the Golden State Warriors, which are the dynasty of this era, to initiate this whole 3-point movement and then get a player like Wiseman and put him down low and then bring it back to posting up down low type play. I can see that happening. Not that they would abolish shooting the 3, but I'm saying with having a motherfucker like Wiseman down there, they gonna give him that ball down there. Because they give other players the ball in the post. Sometimes they give Wiggins the ball in the post. When KD was here, they gave him the ball in the post and will let him go to work. Okay, so they're going to do the same thing with Wiseman because he got the capability of scoring down there. The difference is he's big. So it'll be just like the Warriors to revolutionize the game, and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson do all of this shit. And then after they done got everybody to thinking that the 3-point shot is the way to go as far as shooting 100 fucking threes a game and shit, then bring it back to a post game. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, let me finish. Okay, he says that, and this is the same comment I'm reading. This dude left a long ass comment. He says there are negatives. His screen setting is not where it needs to be. It's better than last year, but he's still not making solid contact on screens. I think this is a timing and repetition thing, and not a willingness thing. But he needs the reps. Doesn't help. He's playing with a bunch of guys he's never really practiced with. Meaning in the G League, that's just who he playing with in the G League. He's not gonna be playing with them like that. You know what I mean? And he ain't been practicing with them. When he practices with his team. Steph, Klay, you know, and all, you know, the team that he owns. So that makes sense. However, the biggest cause for concern is the turnovers. Which the Warriors do anyway. Steph turned the ball over, so you know what I'm saying? He made a really careless outlet pass tonight. He gets his pocket pick too often handling the ball in the post. The other night, he got his pocket pick on a backdoor double team he didn't see coming. Some of the passes he should have caught. Others were just really bad passes. However, he's had enough problems that it's a concern. Also, he's not yet figured out how to pass out of the post or pass very much at all. His passing was better tonight, but he's not a guy who's going to move the ball correctly at this stage of his career. He can still be a really useful NBA player right now, but there's a lot of work to do, but also plenty of positives. And I mean, that essentially sums it up. He's still a young player. You can see in the games that he's played in the G League and in Summer League, you can see that he's gotten better, although it is against fringe NBA talent, like talent that's either not really all the way NBA talent or fringe NBA talent. You know what I'm saying? So obviously he's not, but still, you can even in playing against a somewhat lower level of competition in the G League and in the Summer League, you can still see that he's gotten better. You can still see it. And like I said, I'm not saying that he was bad in his rookie year, because he wasn't. He just was inexperienced. He didn't know what he was doing out there for the most part. Athletically, yeah, that's you know what I mean. He showed that athletically he can hang. So that's part of the reason why he wasn't a total flop his rookie year. It's just because of his natural athleticism, and like other bruh said in other comment, he's just a freak athlete. But I'm talking about, you can tell he's better. You can tell he's better now from a mental standpoint. Just in the fact that just from his rookie year to now in these G League games and these Summer League games, you can tell that he's a better player. He's more confident, and that's going to help him mentally. Somebody said you can't teach 7'1" and 7'6" wingspan, fast and a muscular frame. He's raw, but all the pieces are there. Jokic coach has been teaching him this year. He's going to be an all-star. I agree with that. I see James Wiseman at some point in his career making an all-star team, probably being a multiple all-star. You know what I mean? The only thing that might hold him back somewhat, and he's only 21, so he's going to have a long career, even though sometimes big men, the older they get, the less mobile they get. And it could end a little, sooner rather than guards. Some guards can play a little longer or whatever. Or some people might say it's the opposite. Who knows? But I just know for big men, a lot of them, the older they get, start to get in their 30s and mid 30s, you can tell they because their body is so big that they're not as mobile as they once were. But why was I saying that? Yeah, the only thing that may hurt him as far as how many times he can make an all-star team is the fact that right now, because he's still young, but this is going to be his third year already, and most likely he's not going to make no all-star team this year, because he's not going to have that type of role. You know what I mean? So he probably won't. But like, I'm saying probably because you never know what the fuck. He might burst on the scene and you know what I mean? But yeah, the likelihood of it is that he's not going to be an all-star this year. Maybe starting his fourth or his fifth year is when he may, But yeah, what might make it to that he only is like a 4 or 5 time all-star is that he may not start really being considered for an all-star spot until like maybe his 5th or 6th year. He's already going into his 3rd year next year. Steph is still Steph. So, Clay is gonna still be Clay, and everybody think he's gonna be better this year because now you're gonna have a full off season. He ain't recovering from no injuries and all that, and none of that. So, Draymond's still gonna be Draymond, and it's protocol. It's it's seniority. There's people in line ahead of him. So, so maybe by the time 2-3 years down the line, when the big boys start to slow down a little bit, or they're a little bit more slow or whatever, and he kind of takes more of a starring role on the team, then he'll probably start to be more considered for to be an all-star and stuff like that. But like I said, by that time, it might be his 5th, 6th, 7th year in the league. And then, you say, okay, we maintain that for, 3 or 4 years or whatever, hoping that he don't have no major injuries or nothing like that. So let's say from about year 6, okay, he makes 4 all-star teams from year 6 to year 10. Where he'll be going to year 3 right now at age 21. So in year 10, he'll be 28. That's still young. So yeah, he'll have enough. He'll have as long as he's able to stay healthy for the most part, he'll have enough. He'll have enough time to rack up. I kind of miscalculated it, but yeah, he'll have enough time to rack up maybe 7, 8, or 9 all-star appearances. So we'll see how it goes. But that's basically it, man. James Wiseman, he gonna be solid. He still is not going to, and him and Kuminga, man, Jordan Poole, like we looking real good, bro. We looking real good. Obviously everything is contingent on, because we gotta see, like I'm not saying once Steph is done that these young boys is going to still be able to continue on winning championships. Because the key factor about everything right now is Steph Curry is still on the team. So you can really see how we're really going to see how good these players are, Poole and Kuminga and Moody and Wiseman, once Steph Curry is no longer on the team. You know what I'm saying? And there's not that Steph Curry effect. But the good thing about it is by that time, because Steph Curry ain't going nowhere no time soon. So the good thing is by that time, they would be so experienced in big games and all of it, regardless of the young players. The only young player that really had a big contribution was Jordan Poole, but the other, Kuminga and Moody and obviously Wiseman, because he didn't play at all. Kuminga and Moody contributed in the playoffs. They played. They just didn't play a lot, and they didn't play a lot in the finals and stuff like that. So there wasn't a whole bunch of contribution there, but they still won a championship, and they still are going to get rings. They still are champions. So having that experience, you still see what it takes. You know what I mean? And so they're going to, by that time, 3, 4, 4 or 5 years down the line, once Steph is declining, by that time, bro, they're going to be so experienced that no, it doesn't guarantee that they're going to be able to continue on and win championships, but it can be still a possibility there, because they would have already been so seasoned. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, it depends on how good they really are without Steph Curry. But yeah, that's basically it, man. Wiseman gonna do his thing. He gonna continue to get better year after year after year. You know what I'm saying? We gotta still keep in mind that even this upcoming year, like I said, you can see in these games that he's played in the summer league and in the G League before they shut him down with the knee swelling. Even though it's against inferior competition, you can see that he's a better player. Okay, so with that being said, he's just going to continue to get better and develop, and gradually, as the years go by, he's going to, I think they're going to put more and more on his plate as time goes by. And but I think this upcoming year, we start to see the first real glimpses of what James Wiseman is ultimately going to be. I might address, I done did 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours on this. So it might be something else. I may hear something else where I may want to kind of, address this topic again. But if so, it might just come in just talking about the Warriors in general. I may not have to do a whole episode on this again, but we'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see how it goes. But yeah, James Wiseman, man, he gonna be all right. Don't hey, Warriors fans, don't worry about James Wiseman at all. Don't. James Wiseman gonna be good. He don't got no type of burden of having to carry nothing. So why is we even being worried about him and how he can develop in the background? You know, when I say in the background, I don't mean in the background like not playing. Obviously, I just mean in the background as a young player, just like Kuminga and Moody, they can just develop while the big dogs are still the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not the least. I don't have 1 percentile, 1 iota of worry about James Wiseman. Never have, never will, until he shows me that he's really, really injury prone, or he just shows that he's incapable of playing the NBA game. So that's what that is, man. Snax on Sports. I'm gone. I'm gonna get back at y'all, man. I do want to address that. I know I said I'm gonna be done with the basketball topics, but I gotta do an episode about this Kevin Durant, about this him wanting the owner of the Nets to fire Steve Nash and Sean Marks. You know what I mean? I was a little more, and speaking about James Wiseman, I was a little bit more reserved, but I'm gonna get real turned the fuck up, Snax on Sports, and real disrespectful on this one. You know, about KD, meaning, well, what I call him, Katie, Katie. You feel me? So yeah, it is what it is, dog. Snax on Sports. I'll be back, and then I'm gonna jump into NFL season. We back. I'm gonna jump into the football. I got to do this Niners topic about Trey Lance. I know Jimmy G is still on the team, but he's finna be gone, and Jimmy G is going to be in the rear view. But I still got some thoughts about it, because I'm starting to hear a lot of motherfuckers kind of backpedal and moonwalking and remix all that shit they was talking last year about Trey Young, and now that the time is here, I'm hearing a lot of don't backpedal now. Don't backpedal now. Now that it's finally time for Jimmy G to be gone. So, yeah, I got some shit to say about that as well. Snax on Sports, I'm gone. You know what I'm talking about.